Okay, I did something with my portfolio this week that goes against everything on financial TikTok.
Oh no. Did you buy a crypto coin named after a dog?
No, I actually sold my Canadian Dividend ETF.
Wait, you sold your VDY?
Yes, and I feel a little guilty about it.
You shouldn't. I know everyone online is obsessed with passive income and dividend investing right now. The whole pitch is get paid while you sleep.
I know, but the more I looked at the numbers,
The more you realized you might actually be making less money than if you just bought a normal growth ETF?
yes, so I wasn't crazy to sell it.
Not at all. You just figured out the biggest trap that new Canadian investors fall into. Chasing dividend ETFs is the easiest way to accidentally stunt your total gains.
Okay, we need to break this down.
And real quick, just a reminder that we are sharing our own strategies here. This is for educational purposes, not official financial advice. Always do your own research. Let's get into it.
So, why isn't a dividend just free money?
Because it's not a bonus. Think of a company like a piggy bank. If there is $100 in the bank and the company pays you a $5 dividend, that $5 comes out of the bank. Now the bank only has $95 left inside.
So, the stock price has to drop by $5?
Precisely. On the day the dividend is paid, the stock price is adjusted downward by the exchange. If the stock was $100, it becomes $95. You have $95 in stock and $5 in cash. You still only have $100 total.
So, it's just like moving money from one pocket to the other.
That is the perfect way to put it. But here is the problem. When you force that money into your cash pocket, you stop it from working. Tech giants like Amazon or Alphabet famously paid zero dividends for decades. They kept every penny to build data centers and AI.
And that made the stock price go up way more?
Exactly. By taking a dividend, you are basically telling the company, I don't think you can grow this money better than I can. For most big Canadian banks, that might be true. But for the innovators of the world, you want them to keep the cash and grow it for you.
Let's look at the actual numbers for a long-term plan.
Let's run a 10-year test. Imagine two investors. Investor A buys a high dividend fund like VDY. Investor B buys a total market fund like XEQT.
Investor A gets more cash every month, correct?
Yes, they feel great because they see those deposits. But Investor B is owning the entire world. They own Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla. While the Canadian banks in VDY are growing at 3 or 4%, the tech sector might be growing at 15 or 20%.
So the total pile of money is just bigger for Investor B?
Way bigger. Even after you factor in the dividends Investor A received, Investor B almost always ends up with more wealth. We call this total return. If you only look at the dividend yield, you are looking at less than half of the picture.
It's like looking at the tip of an iceberg.
Totally. The dividends are the tiny bit above the water. The actual price gains are the massive part hidden underneath. If you ignore the hidden part, you'll never hit your goals as fast.
We've covered TFSA traps before, but let's talk about how this specifically hits dividend fans.
It's a huge factor. We actually have a deep dive on those traps in the cards right now. But the main issue here is the contribution room reset.
Yeah, you can't just put that room back whenever you want.
No. If you take out a $1,000 dividend to pay for a weekend trip to Montreal, you lose that room until January 1st.
And if you put it back early, you get hit with that 1% penalty.
Every single month. And beginners mess this up all the time. They treat their TFSA like a checking account, moving money in and out. Before they know it, the CRA is sending them a penalty letter for hundreds of dollars.
That sounds super stressful.
It is. And there's another trap, taxable accounts. Let's say your TFSA is full, so you buy dividend funds in a regular, non-registered cash account.
So you pay taxes on those payouts every year?
Yes, even if you don't spend the money. Every spring, your broker sends you a T5 tax slip. You have to report that cash to the government and pay tax on it for that specific year.
So you're losing money to taxes before it can even compound?
Precisely. It creates a massive drag on your portfolio. Whereas with a fund that focuses on price gains, you only pay tax when you eventually sell. You can let that money compound tax deferred for 20 or 30 years.
That makes total sense. So chasing payouts just gives the government a cut every year for no reason.
Exactly. And in Canada, we do have the dividend tax credit for eligible Canadian dividends, which softens the blow a little. But you are still creating a taxable event every single quarter, whether you want to or not.
Is there a fix if you already own them?
If you are inside a TFSA, turn on a DRIP, a dividend reinvestment plan. Instead of the cash hitting your account where you can spend it, the broker automatically buys more shares of the ETF for you.
So you never even touch the money?
It just quietly snowballs. No CRA math, no contribution room headaches, no temptation to spend it.
But in a taxable account, you still pay the tax even with a DRIP?
Always. Even with a DRIP, if it's a taxable account, the CRA still wants their cut. This is why total market funds are so much cleaner. Stay inside your TFSA or FHSA and stick to growth-focused funds so you control when your tax events happen.
So why do people keep chasing dividends?
Because it feels good. Seeing plus $50 in your account feels like a win. Seeing your stock go from $100 to $105 feels like nothing until you sell. Dividends taste good today, but they are not a balanced meal for a young investor. Our brains want the reward right now, not 20 years from now.
So what should someone actually do if they already hold dividend ETFs?
First, do not panic. Do not sell everything tomorrow. Just ask yourself honestly, why do I own this? If the answer is because I like seeing the monthly deposit, that is not a great reason when you are still building wealth.
And if that is the reason?
Then just stop adding to it. You do not have to sell if it would trigger a tax bill. Just redirect your new contributions to a total market ETF going forward and let the dividend fund sit.
So you are not undoing the past. You are just changing what you do next.
Exactly. Small shift, big difference over time.
Okay, and when does it actually make sense to own dividend ETFs?
When you stop working. Think about it. When you are retired, you need cash to pay for your actual life. Groceries, bills, travel. You do not want to be manually selling shares every single month just to cover your expenses. That is stressful and complicated.
So the dividend just acts like a paycheck replacement.
That is exactly what it is. A reliable cash flow without having to touch your principal. At that stage, it makes complete sense. But when you are in your 20s or 30s and you have a job paying your bills, you do not need that yet. You need growth.
So it is the wrong tool for the wrong stage of life.
Chasing dividends in your 30s is like driving with the emergency brake on. You will get there eventually, but you are fighting yourself the whole way.
I am so glad I sold those shares.
Good. Long-term gains are what build wealth. Dividends are just for the finish line. If you want to know which funds to buy instead, we compared the best all-in-one ETFs for Canadians in another video. Click it on the screen now. And if this was helpful, a like really helps the channel.
We'll see you in the next one.